What's going on, guys? I am Dom. I'm here with John. I'm here with Poppy Platino, but we are here doing a special episode of the It Doesn't Matter Rundown, and we have a special guest, WCW legend Scotty Riggs. Scotty, thank you for being on the show. How you doing today?
Oh, it's my pleasure, my friends. My pleasure. Doing well tonight. Thursday night, got legs done yesterday, so survived that workout.
Ooh.
So we got chest and some shoulders in a little bit whenever we get done with this, these shenanigans we're about to have. So it's a good day.
Nice.
Man, it's nice to see you. We seen you recently at Sting's last match at AEW Revolution, man. Can you tell me how to feel to be in the building for Sting's last match?
Dude, that was probably one of the most just surreal events in a long time. The funny part about the entire scenario with that was about maybe 3 weeks early, Sting gave me and Mark Bagwell a call and said, "Hey, I want you guys to come to the event, this, that, and the other." So it was kind of like, setting things up a little bit. And then right about a week beforehand, we get a weird message. And Stinger's always been, just pretty blunt with us. And he goes, "Well, hey, guys, just want to kind of let you know there's going to be a whole lot of moving parts. And I haven't been around those guys for a long time. When one guy says the same thing, the same phrase 20 times, it's really something we make fun of for the longest time." And Sting probably said in about a 30-second period, moving parts 10 times. Tell you, Marcus, Scotty, there's a lot of moving parts. I just don't know all these moving parts. And we were just going, "Would you just say it, Sting?" And so it was kind of funny. But Mark had foot surgery, so he wasn't able to go anyway, no matter what was going on. He couldn't travel.
Okay.
And that was a Sunday night. We kind of talked about what was going on. We didn't know if Dallas Page was going. We didn't know if Lex was really going, a lot of guys. And found out they were. And it was probably 10:30 Monday morning. I get a text from Sanjay Dutt. Says, "Hey, Scotty, we got your room at the hotel for when you come in tonight or next Sunday. So be sure to, I'll hit you up Wednesday or Thursday with the confirmation number, all this stuff." I said, "I'm going." So the funny, it was like that was I was formally invited. That was AEW's way of inviting me, not just Sting's way of inviting me. And so that was really cool. So just to be in the building when we first got there, I don't know, you'll probably ask me about it in a little bit, but the DDPY transformation videos have just come out on me.
Yes.
And they've been out for just maybe a week or so. And I get there and I see Sting off by the ring, and me and Dallas walked in together. I traveled up there with Dallas, so that was one fun conversation period to have. 5 hours long with Dallas Page is almost an eternity when it comes to a conversation, because it can go on and he will hit every topic with you. He will do you like your dad telling you about the birds and the bees when you're 8 years old. At least my dad was 100 miles an hour telling me everything I need to know. But so I was trying to follow up with Sting and see where he was going, and he started walking up the ramp. So he got to the top of the entranceway. I was on the floor level still, and I walked up and said, "So what, buddy? Here's a whole lot of moving parts. Moving parts still I got here." And before I got to the word, he leaned up, he just started laughing. That's a little Stinger voice I just hit right there. But he leans over and just goes, "Scotty, I just got to tell you one thing. I am proud of you. I love you. I saw your videos. I was so captivated. I was immersed in them. Mine and Marcus's was about 24 minutes. Mine alone with Nuvi and stuff was about 19. So Stinger spent about almost 40 minutes straight watching videos on Marcus, myself, and then me. And for him for that man to say, "I was immersed in it, and then I'm proud of you and I love you," for him to say that is so genuine. It's from the heart, from his soul when he says those words. I was almost in tears, just going, wow. I kind of like this. He goes, "Now get up here and give me a hug." So I got up there, I hugged. We talked a little bit more, but it was very surreal because of that, number one, and then number two, there was 15,000 people there.
Oof.
And part of the thing that I showed, I took I don't think I aired. I don't think I put it on Twitter, but sent it to a few friends. Just how loud they were with the thank you stings and everything else beforehand. I mean, it was gave me goosebumps. I'm right next to Nikita Koloff from Magnum TA, and I had goosebumps because of that. And it was just, it was really, really amazing. Hey, there's that handsome devil. Those two rascals. But it was really amazing just to feel that energy. That man still at 63. He didn't command it. It was given to him because he'd earned it. And
yes,
I mean, it was just amazing to see that. And I felt great for those AEW talent too, all the wrestlers, the men and women there. Because to be in front of 14,000 people, I'm like, every time I talk to any of the guys, I'm like, be sure to thank Sting for the house.
yes,
Thank Sting for the house, because they all came to see him. Most of them too, but still, they came to see him. And so that was, you show your respect to the guy, at the top there. Thank you for the house. Thank you for the house. And he brought it that night. So it was phenomenal. It was surreal. It was phenomenal.
It was a great time.
Phenomenally? Is that a word? Okay.
It is today.
It is now.
I have a question for you. Most of the guys, like, we're all fans here. Who was somebody who inspired you to get into the who was the guy that inspired you to get into the ring?
Wow.
Or even just caught your eye to make you love the sport?
You gotta remember, I'm 57 years old. So I came up in a lot different era when there was very little TV. Like my Saturday mornings would be Three Stooges and Bugs Bunny, and then wrestling. And it'd be either Middle Atlantic Championship Wrestling or Georgia Championship Wrestling, because I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. And every other Sunday, my dad, when I started about 1975, 74, 75, when I started watching it, we'd have ringside seat tickets, seat 1 and 2 in the good guys corner.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up watching the very early beginning of the Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair era.
Ooh.
So watching those two guys getting their feuds, a lot of Harley Race as the heavyweight champion of the world, and Terry Funk in the mix with everything, with the Anderson brothers as kind of my favorite tag team, Ole and Gene.
Okay.
So not Ole and Arn, Ole and Gene, a little bit before Arn's time, but it was that era that where you still, especially as an 8-year-old, you believed what those guys do. You believed those guys hate each other's guts. They really put every effort in what they did to make you believe. And because that's how they made their money. That's how they sold tickets. Because it wasn't TV like it is now. They had to they did their TVs, their Saturday or Sunday TV basically said what their Sunday through Friday and into Saturday house shows would be like. That's where they made the money, was on the house shows. So getting to see them live in person, Steamboat and Paul Jones was his tag team partner, faced like Ric Flair and Greg Valentine. So seeing that wrestling era of like Blackjack Mulligan, those type guys, big burly guys, with Ricky Steamboat being the best looking guy with a nice Hawaiian guy, muscles, surfboard pictures, stuff like that. So those were, but it was, when it boils down to it, Steamboat and Flair in mid to late 70s is what really captured me.
Nice. All right.
Scotty, on this It Doesn't Matter podcast, I'm known as somewhat of the historian. Every time there's a question about something in the past or when was this, who was that?
Tattoo's only a year old. Is that what you're going to ask?
I was going to ask that too. I've never seen that on you.
It was given me as a birthday present last year. So historically, I didn't have it before, but it just, didn't want to, I want to answer your question for you.
Scotty Rick's trying to throw off me right now, but that's okay.
Have a little fun, see what we can do. Make it entertaining.
But so usually Abel and Don, they ask me the questions, and I'm like, yeah, well, in 1987, so and so. But we want to hear it from you because this show is about you today. So I'd like to ask you to take us back to your WCW debut. Who was your opponent, your first opponent, and what thought process, emotions that ran through you as you got onto the national stage of World Championship Wrestling?
I'm trying to think. Do you mean in my enhancement day period, or as my actual getting a chance to run as a talent?
I'd like to hear both, actually.
Wow. Okay. Trying to think the best, my recollection. The first match I really had that made me even, I would even call a match, was probably 94-ish. Even though I had a few matches beforehand, I can't name the guys, but I won't mind giving myself a pat on the back with this one. It was against Stunning Steve Austin. Way before the Stone Cold era. Him and Billman had just split up. And to give a little bit of a backstory, I had moved from, I went to college at West Georgia College, Division II school between Atlanta and Birmingham off Interstate 20. Moved to Atlanta, started working out at Main Event Fitness, which is where all the boys worked out, all the wrestlers and stuff like that, and a lot of strippers, a lot of rock and roll guys from that era. They all used Lexus Sting's gym. That was their place. And I met DDP there and had actually started working out with him some. A friend of mine in his karate school had a wrestling ring in the back of it. And instead of going down to the power plant, which was about maybe 45 minutes away, we're in the north side of Atlanta. They were down south side by the airport. I said, man, there's a ring set up 10 minutes from here. And he was like, okay, cool, let me check it out. Brought him over, he checked it out. The next day, he brings over Jake Roberts, Brad Armstrong, and Steve Regal.
Ooh.
And I'm basically being his tackling dummy, his throw this guy, so I'm being thrown around by Paige and stuff like that. But they're still kind of working with me a little bit. They see that I have a little bit of talent to me. And Brad Armstrong, all the credit goes to him. He worked with me. He started working with me my drop kick there. So we're going to show him how to do timing on a leapfrog into a drop kick, a drop down leapfrog, all that, and just the movement into the timing of it and hitting it right. And so me and Paige kind of put a match together there, leading to the point where we put a 20-minute match together, take it down to the power plant for him to show to Jody Hamilton through. So that Jody Hamilton, who was the guy who ran the TVs and stuff like that, the Gorilla Time, and he ran the school down there. And Dallas used his wrestling mind to critique his work. So we went down there, did our match. We get out of the ring, and Jody goes, "Good work, Dallas." He looks at me and goes, "Who the F are you?" And I go there and introduce myself, and Dallas goes, whoa, wait a minute. Jody, this guy's only been working a year and a half. And Jody goes, what? And my first match was February 2nd of 1992. And it was a drizzling shits, but it was still a match. So this had to be early 94-ish when this happened. And Jody goes, how'd he put it? So kid, would you like to earn a little bit of money in this wrestling game and do some TV spots for us? Because Jody booked and has some talent. I said, sure. He goes, I can't guarantee you anything, but I will put you in matches that you don't just get squashed like a bug. He goes, I can tell you can work. So I'm not going to do that to you. So there'll be some guys that up there they're like a duffel bag. And that's the boys just beat the crap out of people.
Yep.
Some guys will give you great matches if you could really work. So Austin, I get put in a match with him, and Austin, of course, being the ribber he is, he comes walking up and he says, all right, kid, can you work a headlock? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Walks away. About 20 minutes later, kid, can you work an arm? Yeah, he goes, okay, that's what we'll do. About 5 more minutes later, go by, kid, can you work the leg? Sure. We may do that. Just listen to me. He comes back up to me. Just as we're getting ready to go out to the ring, I'm getting ready to walk through the little curtain, for the guys to go out, and he grabs my shoulder and says, kid, you sure you can work a headlock? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, just listen to me. And then I'm going, what in the world are we doing, And he basically calls a match. We have an 8-minute TV match, which is more of a two contenders, two real big names. We have that type of time.
Yes.
But luckily, thanks to Jody, I had that match. He made me look like a 10-year veteran. And it was at Center Stage in Atlanta. And I am blown sky high. I ended up working the leg. Out of everything, he kept joking me around, this, that. We started working the leg after a couple of spots. And, he covers me. He hits me with his stun gun finish. 1, 2, 3. But he's laying on me like this. And it's like, he looks like he's exhausted, winded, whole 9 yards, making me look like I was a talent. And I'm blowed up. Nick Patrick's referee. I'm going, trying to breathe. And Nick leans over and goes, relax, kid. That was a hell of a match. You'd be happy. You okay? Yeah. I'm just trying to breathe, but I'm blowing sky high. Because I haven't worked that type of pace. The TV match is a completely different animal. And so the fun of it was I walked through the curtain and there's Dusty Rhodes. Comes walking towards me and says, damn, baby, I tell you, kid, you had me going. You two guys are going back and forth, baby. That I didn't know who was going to win. I even booked the match. Didn't know who was going to win. But great job, kid. Great job. And I was like going, and Steve's over there going like, no big deal. You know, he knew how to breathe. But I was a nervous wreck kid. Match with him again made me look like a huge vet. And that was one of my first matches. Then my next match after that was with Steve Regal in Macon, Georgia. So basically, I go from working with Steve, then I worked with Steve Regal, who knew I could work from the couple training sessions with Dallas that he helped with. So he knew me already. So when he found out I was working him, again, it was about a 6 or 7 minute match. And so we had time to do stuff. And Steve, you know, made sure he looked great, but made sure that I did counters to his moves like he did with his chain wrestling. So my first couple matches, they actually set me up well to not just be an enhancement guy at the time, but I actually started getting some house show bookings. They gave me, okay, you're going on the road this week. And it was me, Eric Watts, and I got Mike Winter, who was one of their trainer guys from the school. And I would have to work against him in the opening match, a 10-minute Broadway type thing. And so that was kind of my earliest times with WCW. It was all because DDP, I agreed to be his tackling dummy. And because of that, I got over with some of the boys. He got me viewed in a different way, and things just kind of fell in a great place for me there that way. So that was pretty much my first matches ever with WCW, and was very, very blessed to be with those guys.
Nice. Very nice. You worked with some Hall of Fame talents right there.
Dude,
in the beginning.
When you look at them, you're going, those guys were like, Steve Austin had just been in the territory, you know, in WCW for a couple of years. And, you know, you knew he had something about him and he really had an it factor, but who knew it was going to be Stone Cold, you know, but he still had a presence about him that, and he was just like he was Stone Cold. He was in the back, just joking, that rough country guy, you know, and you just sat back and there's something about him. And Regal, he was such a unique talent, and he was willing to teach if you were willing to learn. I mean, you zip your mouth, cleaned out your ears, and listened.
Oh,
and if you did that with him, he loved you. You know, but if you wanted to do something, you kind of, well, I'd like to, or can we do this? I really would like to get. He squashed you like a bug, and he knew how to do it. But you know, that was the thing. If you were young and I just knew it from football, from playing sports. If you listen to who's coaching you, you succeed. Yes. And so, you know, I played linebacker and in high school and college, and the only way I got better was through coaching or the guys in front of me that were willing to teach me stuff. You know, and so that's how I got better. So I kind of transitioned when I got into wrestling. You got one mouth and two ears. Zip the mouth and listen just twice as hard.
Yes.
That's it. So back in the 90s, I was the big WCW guy growing up as a child. And I used to like the spinning ring at center stage and how like
I hate
the focal point. Did you?
It was mainly it wasn't at center stage. They didn't really use it there, but they used it at the Disney tapings, the MGM Grand
Disney.
The worldwide, the syndicated shows. That spinning ring for the main event, that was like, man, it was miserable. You come running up to the thing, you're like, okay, I don't want to bust my butt, even though they can edit it out. If they don't like me, they won't edit it. They'll show me doing this number with my feet up in the air, you know, if I'm not careful.
Yeah, I always thought
hated that thing. I'm glad you liked it, but I hated it.
I personally didn't like it.
It was cool for as a kid seeing the ring spin, and it was like a cinematic type of thing because the crowd was kind of dark and everybody just focused on the ring itself.
Yeah.
It was a good look at the time.
That could be a whole other topic, you know, things that appeal to fans that do not appeal to wrestlers.
Things fans love, things wrestlers hate.
The 6 sides of steel, you know, that the TNA ring. It's like, oh no, we hate that. You know?
That worked great in Mexico, but it took a whole lot to transition to here in the States, and it still didn't really latch onto it, even though it was different, you know.
Oh man. All right. So we know that you and Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Buff Bagwell, were the American males. Like, how did that tag team form? Like, what are some memories from you and Bagwell being together?
The crazy thing about that, there they are. We got put together all because of a music video.
Really?
I actually had left WCW about mid-January of '95 and went to USWA to work for Jerry Lawler. And spent 8 months there. And part of the WCW production crew was a guy named Kemper Rogers. He did a lot of editing, putting shows together. He knew how to make, camera cuts and stuff like that. So really, I telling the guy what he did. And he was looking to branch out a bit. So he had actually got in contact with me because he knew where I was, or somehow he found out where I was, one of the two, and said, hey, I want you to come to Atlanta for a weekend. We'll pay you. I'm shooting a video. I got Mark Bagwell was going to be in it, and this other girl named Heather, and it was for a group called Aha, who was big at the time, and they had that song "Take on Me."
Yep, that was.
This was I think it was "Lay Me Down" or "Lay Down on Me," something like that. I can't remember the song offhand. I can hear it, but I can't think of it, the name of it. But we had done that video over a weekend, and I'd gone back up to Memphis. And he was using the production facilities at the CNN Center. And so he was editing everything. And Jimmy Hart happened to walk in. And he saw me and Bagwell together. And Marcus and the Patriot had just split up. They were trying Marcus with Alex Wright. They're trying to make it like a American-German connection type tag team with them. And Alex was a great singles worker and not really focused or didn't have the chemistry to work as a tag wrestler. So they really weren't working out well. And Jimmy Hart sees me and Marcus, two good-looking guys. And Jimmy's mindset was the Fabulous Ones, which came through Memphis.
Yes.
The Fantastics, Rock Roll Express, all those type of young babyface tag teams. And so his mind starts churning. He's like, where's Scotty Riggs at? Where's Scotty Riggs at? Who's in Memphis? Oh, I know how to get in touch with them. So about the beginning of June or mid-June, we're in Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday nights. And we go from Louisville to Evansville, Indiana every Wednesday. So we're at the day's end until about noon, 1 o'clock, till we drive over to Evansville. And my phone rings in my room, and I'm thinking I was traveling with Brian Christopher at the time. So I'm thinking maybe it's Brian wanting to go work out, get a bite to eat before going on the road or something. And I pick up the phone. It's Janie Ingle, who's the head secretary for WCW. She basically works for Kevin Sullivan. He's the head guy. She ended up working for Eric when Eric took over. But Kevin was the booker at the time. And it's Janie Ingle. And she goes, hey, Scotty, it's Janie Ingle. I'm like, hey. And I'm like, my mind's like, what in the hell is going on with this? And she goes, Kevin Sullivan wants to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So, hey, Gad. And with that Boston accent, he's talking to me. And we were thinking about bringing you in up here as Bagwell's tag team partner. Would you like that? And I'm like going, yeah, that'd be a blast, Kevin. Cool. We'll call you next week. Okay. Boom. And so the next 2-3 weeks, what I got, it was like, boom, it's Janie. Kevin wants to talk to you. Boom, it's Janie. Kevin wants to talk to you. Then finally about I want to say the first week of August, Janie Ingle goes, okay, it's just me, and we're going to bring you in next weekend. We want you to come to Atlanta. The following Monday, you're going to start in Orlando with Marcus' partner. We want you to get over Marcus, puts the outfits together, this, that, and the other. And we'll see you. We'll see you then. I said, Jane, can I ask you a quick question? She goes, yeah. I said, when am I going to get paid? You got to realize I'm here in Memphis, where Jerry Lawler promised me $40 a day was all you were guaranteed to wrestle back then on a daily basis. But you wrestled 6 nights a week and twice on Saturday with TV. So you got all the experience and exposure you could want, but you weren't making any money. I put like about 40,000 miles in my car, made less than $6,000. But it was all the experience and exposure I could. It was a wealth of knowledge, basically, learning to wrestle every night. And it was first time ever in my life being a pro wrestler, where you wrestle every night, in front of a crowd every night, different stage, different towns, the whole thing. And so it was a blast. It was a lot of fun, which I was pretty much starving. And she put me into, hang on a second. Puts me on hold. Next thing you know, it's Kevin Sullivan. And she goes, so Scotty, I can guarantee you X amount of dollars. Will that work? I said, cool. He goes, it's a 90-day trial basis. And we'll see you in Orlando, kid. Click. So I basically said, nice, easy, blunt. There you go. I got to be in Atlanta on, as soon as I can get there, it's Wednesday. So I go to Indiana. I wrestle Tracy Smothers that night in Evansville. I get a win. And then I walk into the back, and Randy Hale, who was the booker promoter for USWA at the time, I said, Randy, got to talk to you. I'm leaving tonight, going to Atlanta and starting with WCW on Monday. He went, what? And most of the time, they always want you to have a 2-week notice. You know, most times any professional will give 2-week notice, but when you go from one company to the next and you go from a smaller company to a much larger company and they call you, you just kind of go. That 2 weeks you give them, they're just going to beat you every night, which is kind of what your a traditional way to think about your territory. But I was like, dude, I got to go. And I'm driving to Atlanta tonight. They wished me well. And about 2 to 3 weeks later, I actually got a call from Randy and said, hey, I already hear good things about you, this, that, and the other. And I'm happy for you. No hard feelings up here. A few guys were a little upset with you, but no big deal. Don't ever worry about it. You're fine in my book. And I greatly appreciated that. But they put me and Marcus together. We worked the Blue Bloods, Regal and Bobby Eaton. Mm-hmm. And 2 guys, again, who if they didn't care that we did good or not, they could have ate us up a little bit. But Bobby was too cool, too professional. And Regal, he didn't like Bagwell, but he kind of liked me from before matches. And so they, again, made me look $1 million, a 10-year vet, made us look like we knew exactly what we were doing as a tag team, which me and Mark had incredible chemistry out the book. It was weird. It's like we would look at each other and know kind of what move we wanted to do, or one of us would call something. We knew if you did it when you did a tag, the guy outside the ring does his hand like this, and the guy inside the ring makes a tag. Not him trying to tag me. He gives me a spot to hit the tag on. So that's where you work your tag. If you ever watch, you guys know what we're doing. The guy outside like this. He's the one who's tagging the hand. So we knew that it wasn't a cluster on anything we ever did. And we did that one match. The very next day, we get there for the tapings, and Jimmy Hart pulls us aside and says, we got a field book. We got horses. We want to do a video with you guys. It's going to take the rest of the day, so let's go. So they spend like $80,000 shooting this video on us, me and Marcus. Very old school. Fabulous Ones, Steve Kerr and Stan Lane, riding horses, doing all this cool stuff in this big field. On this, we were at Disney because they had all these facilities and stuff like that. And they pretty much spent, like I said, about $80,000 on stuff they never even used at all. Spent a day shooting, and they used the still photography of it for a little magazine spread they did on us. But they got Kemper to come back and do the American Males video on us that we used in the black and white. And so we were the first ones to use black and white, not those NWO guys. So right what Hall and Nash and Hogan might say, no matter how much they might do this, too sweet at you. See, there you go. We were the first ones to do everything we did was black and white. So even the video we did, everything was black and white. And that was what Kemper kind of put together for us. They loved it. It hit great. That American Male song, the first time we heard it, it starts off at meow, then na, and then we went, American Males. Me and Mark, I swear to God, this is our exact expression. We looked at each other, bug-eyed, like expressionless. And we're staring at each other, and Jimmy's sitting there going, yeah, it's got that dude go beat daddy. And he's going all stuff, and then when kicks in with when you see I'm coming, we were like, we can work with that. But that Devo part made me and him both go, woo, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, when I first heard that, I was like,
No, my favorite part of that theme song is the part where it just goes, American Male. That's a little bit later in the song, but
I'm not gonna throw any curveballs at you or throw any judgments, but probably that song helped us because we had a large following, a large contingent in the gay community at the time.
Okay.
And some of the verbiage might have been dictated towards that.
Yeah.
Some grunts and groans, the way the music went. But the cool thing was, as wacky as that sounded for back then, it was really something that bolstered across the board for us with anything that was going on with our reaction. Because you always hear the girls scream for us on the entrance. The guys would be booing, but you'd also hear a contingent of voices that were like, there was more resounding what was going on. And again, as kooky as it sounded in the mid-90s, to have a following from the gay community was actually pretty good. You know, it was something that not a lot of guys would go, oh, yeah, the gay community loves us. But we would go out in Atlanta, and as marketers, we put all our cheese on, we look good, we'd have our heat going, walk in the clubs, and we'd either have heads turned to the girls or even the guys. And when you're getting that type of vibe across the board, that type of energy, you're doing something right because you're reaching out to everybody.
That's
A
true.
lot of the guys wanted to fight us because their girls were looking at us, but hey, we drew emotion, and that was the cool thing about the American males. Across the board, we were drawing emotion, so it was a part of of just being. Me and Marcus, when we saw y'all see those forearm bumps, we were going, It ain't easy being cheesy. Swear to God, that's what we were doing almost every single time. It ain't easy being cheesy, but we made it work. Swear to God, we made it work, man, which was good.
That is good. So, what is American Male to be exact? Like you guys were like gigolos or what?
That's what American Male was. What you saw with Bagwell and Riggs. We were part of our outfits were the Zeke Averitis with suspenders.
Yep.
We had the tights with like the laces down the sides. We had the black and white outfits, which were like the Zorro outfits, were like bullfighters. We could pull off the fronts like that, and they came off like in one piece. We all had the chokers. I mean, the American Males, I guess, character, or it was just ourselves that you'd almost see what we wear out on a Saturday night, but in the wrestling ring.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one time the night we lost the tag straps back to Harlem Heat at a Saturday Night TV taping. We wore high-tech boots with the fluffy Jane Fonda type socks. You know, the poofy kind. I don't know what you call them, but they scrunch down
fuzzy
a
britches.
little bit.
Yeah.
We had the black and white type spandex singlets, Daisy Duke shorts. I had a white cloth type vest, and Mark had a black cloth type vest. And that's what we wore out there. And Terry Taylor walks by us and goes, "What the hell is this that you're wearing?" We're the American Males. You can wear whatever you want, brother. He goes, "That looks kind of queer." I said, "Well, that's your fault, Terry." But the thing was, again, you could wear whatever you want. It was cheesy. We made it work, and nobody else had the balls to basically wear what we did and do what we did, and make it work. That was called being the American Males.
That's good, man. That's good.
Hey, Dom, can you put up that graphic again? The American Males.
Got you.
Yeah. When I see this, I hear Calvin Klein.
Yo. Hey, we're trying to get.
Well,
we gotta get.
CK1.
We're trying to get Scotty some deals, man. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, we had the earrings, we had the chokers, we had the pendants, the sunglasses. I had the 5 o'clock shadow. Mark had the goatee. I had the mullet, the wrestler's cut. Mark had the spiky hair. So we were two different, opposite images of each other in a sense, but we made everything work cohesively.
Yes.
That's straight 90s right there.
Straight 90s. That was straight mid 90s fire. That was mid 90s because early 90s
Zach
was
Morris
not like that. Mid 90s towards the end of early 2000s, that was all that. That's what you see in clubs every night.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Basically, what we wore in clubs is what you see still wearing in the ring. Crazy.
That's where Zach Morris got his style from. Trying to be like you guys, American Males. Him and AC Slater.
And we were all saved by the bell sometimes.
And
every one of us dated a Kelly Kapowski.
Oof.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And I can't remember her work name, but Lauren Voorhees was not related to Jason Voorhees at all because she was fine.
Yeah.
Lisa Turtle.
There you go. There you go.
She can chase me all she wants. I'll just stay.
And of course, the other one turned out to be the hottest one of them all doing the stripper movie.
Showgirl.
Oh
Elizabeth Berkley.
Elizabeth
Berkley turned out to be the one that dropped it all for everybody. And everybody went, We knew we liked her best.
Watched it a few times as a youth. Oh, sorry.
I'm so excited to see that movie.
Wow.
Wow,
Too
you
easy,
haven't
too
seen that,
easy,
John?
too
We're,
easy.
we're putting a lot of stuff that probably half your podcast core is going, what?
Nah.
Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
Yes,
Use the Google
Google it.
machine. Use Siri and ask what we're talking about.
Exactly.
You know, speaking
You
of,
could say that years ago, but you
use
say it now.
if you type in American male into like an AI generator, the picture of that American males will show up possibly.
It needs to show up.
Remember, I'm 57 years old. I don't know what the AI generator really means. I've seen on Twitter where people are using it to make fun of other politicians and make it act like that politicians are saying things they're not saying, or somebody is saying something that they really say. So it's something that's supposed to be good, but you know it's going to be brutally. It's going to be brutal for somebody somehow to get struck down, canceled, Me Too, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Society we have nowadays. It's supposed to be something that works for our benefit, but I guarantee you, 2001: Space Odyssey, with HAL, the computer, the way it acted, and pretty much. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It's Ric Flair guy's theme music from. But when you check out that movie, you'll see how almost realistic that's becoming nowadays. So, American Males in '95. Let's leave us there. Let's not get AI generating nothing about us. Let's keep this historic.
Definitely.
That's the real deal right there.
Bingo.
Yes. All right, Scotty, I got a question for you. When Marcus turned on you and he joined the NWO, was there any plans for you to join the NWO down the road too, or it just didn't fit the story at the time?
Not really, and I mean honestly, I didn't want to join them because you gotta have the dynamic. And the way I looked at it, and me and Marcus, when it happened, they were doing a thing with us where we were kind of starting to cluster into each other anyway, because they were getting ready to split us up and for us to have a feud against each other. But they didn't know, they really had no idea who's going to be the good guy, who's going to be the bad guy. We were going to kind of play off to how maybe the fans were reacting to us as we did stuff to each other, as we were fumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and costing each other matches. And I keep thinking it was important. It was in Florida, Lakeland, Florida. Marcus thinks we were in Salisbury, Maryland, when Kevin Nash approached him about being in the NWO, because Bischoff, the storyline, had done you have not 30 days or whatever it was during your contracts over at NWO, or start getting fired, and all kind of gaga. And when Kevin talked to Marcus about actually joining, Marcus said, "Hey, he just approached me with this." And I said, "Yes." Is it, and not like he had to ask my permission. He goes, because our tag team that was kind of, being split up at that moment.
Yeah.
He goes, "What do you think?" I said, "Dude, let's do it." He goes, I said, "Mark, you've been a babyface tag team guy for the past 8-9 years. You need a period of your career maybe 5-6 years, where you can be seen completely different, and it might be a great run for you. And if they do things right, it could be a good run for me."
It's true.
And of course, they ended up doing anything right for either one of us, really. But so we were both supportive of that whole idea. And what's weird is, after the fact, I think maybe 6-8 months ago, I heard Bischoff on his little podcast where his 83 weeks were, Conrad asked him to turn Mark into Buff. That whole thing, was that the right call? And Eric actually said we should have turned Riggs and made him go NWO, because Marcus was such a staple of WCW. It could have been Lex Luger, Sting, DDP, and Mark Bagwell. 4 guys, and probably maybe Booker T at that time, but 4 or 5 guys. They core those guys who have been WCW forever. Yeah, and that's what he goes. That if hindsight 2020 would have turned Riggs into NWO and kept Mark on WCW side. Which kind of makes sense if you think about it with that perspective. But I wanted to see Mark go be a bad guy, be a heel.
Yep.
And it worked out really well for him for the majority of what Buff became and how he became Buff. I think it worked out great for him. Because he's known more for Buff nowadays than anything else, which is very cool.
Yeah. It's crazy thinking about that. To see you turn into an NWO now that you mention it. Man, now I kind of want to go back in time to see if that would have
I think it would have been. I mean, it would have been completely different because I would have been walking around doing the two squeak to everybody nowadays, and wearing the NWO shirt everywhere because everywhere we go, like if we go do a convention or something together, as we have past couple months, Mark's wearing everything he wears is NWO with buff on the back of it.
Wow.
And I'm just wearing, just a nice tight T-shirt to show off the arms, looking good at 57. Ooh. And, and just wearing my tight shirts, either my Wounded Warriors Project stuff, whatever this, whatever that, my Dallas Cowboys gear, of course. And so I have a plethora of stuff to kind of, mix and match to look good in. He's just got his NWO stuff that's all tired and worn out now. And that's why I like a little fun, like, you weren't NWO again? Don't you have another shirt you can wear? And, but it is recognizable. It's the thing that still is over like Rover today. So you got to do what you got to do. But I'm always going, you got to wear that again. Don't you have another shirt? So it's fun to have. I'm like, I got a cowboy shirt I can wear. I got this shirt I can wear. I got this shirt I can wear. I got to wear this one too. And I'm like, you got two shirts you can bring. One NWO red and black, one NWO white and black.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's it. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad
for you,
I have a better wardrobe to choose from now.
Next time for your next convention you go to, wear some suspenders with a tight T-shirt, the shorts with the designs on them, and those white boots you used to wear back in the 90s.
I don't know if he's gonna do that anymore.
Bring it out.
I'll flip a coin and let you know what happens.
Hey, and if we see him wear that, we know.
I'll definitely let you know what happens on that one.
Well, Scotty, another memorable moment. Another memorable moment in your time in WCW, and of all the things and all the angles and all the worlds and all the federations, I still remember this angle so well. But it ended up with you joining the Flock, and you had an angle where, Raven toe holded you into a steel chair, and you ended up losing your eye. Was there a backstory to this? What happened with that angle and with you joining the Flock?
Well, all it was supposed to be really was a good-looking guy facing Raven. I think it was Raven's first match even. I can't really remember if he had had a match or two before. But we were in San Diego, and they just wanted him to hurt somebody. And the way I sold it, the way it got over and everything else, they decided to turn it into an angle where it was they were like, this is just too good. We can work something out of it instead of Raven just hurting guys and having no real build, no real stories, just every now and then hurting a guy during the match. They turned into an angle, and I'm trying to remember exactly Raven wasn't actually overtly, he wasn't very excited about having me become a part of the Flock, even though that was how the story was going. He liked Kidman being in there because he was young, really unseen. Lodi, nobody knew. He was actually for a shoot, was Raven's assistant. He was down at the school training, but he was running Raven's errands, doing his laundry, getting his groceries, that type of thing. Saturn was coming in, and so knowing that he's coming from ECW, it would fit his gimmick for everybody. Sick Boy is another guy nobody knew at the time, and that was pretty much the entire thing. Van Hammer they kind of brought in, but and Raven liked him because of his size. But he didn't want me because he was like, he was just in the American males. He's kind of a retread. He wanted fresh blood in a sense. And I understood that. But when we started doing everything, Raven started going, okay, Riggs is kind of he's getting this. He's embracing the character. Because he just thought it was going to be kind of like try to stay the pretty boy type thing and not really embrace the persona of what the Flock was supposed to be. And if you ever watched the match with me and Perry Saturn, where I started off with the eye patch with gauze on and everything was on the Nitro, we were in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's where I do the dive off the ring into the Flock.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
When Perry suplexes me outside the ring, the eye patch goes off, the gauze patch goes off. And none of the guys behind the scene with production crew, with any of them, nobody, Craig Leathers, Kevin Sullivan, Terry Taylor, none of the office guys knew that at least I was prepared for what could happen. I had gone to a friend of ours, and Andre, who ran the fax company, and said, hey, I got this eye injury. What can you do to make my eye look funky? It's not like would be too much for me to do at every building I go to or whatever. And he goes, it'd be simple. And so he gave me an opaque eye contact lens that basically I'm blind. I can't see because you can't see out of it. And it makes your eyeball look completely white. Kind of like Jake Snake did when he did the gimmick with Rick Martel. Got sprayed with a perfume in his eyes. So we did that. And when all that came off, none of the people in the back knew that I had that opaque contact lens in.
Ooh.
And all of a sudden, I kind of look at the camera or whatever, and they see it because they're all thinking, oh my gosh, his eyes going to be okay. Everything's going to be screwed up. And then when they see it, and they go, oh my gosh, he's prepared for this. The ref comes running by my ear. Show your eyeball to the camera. Show your eyeball to the camera. Do it again. Every time he's running past you, so look at the camera, look at the camera. I'm like going, tell them in the back, fuck off. I just went in the back. You in the back, fuck off. You can almost see my lips because I said it to the camera at one point. And I said, because I was prepared, you weren't. And it just made everybody believe that something had legit happened to my eye. But in all honesty, I was blind in the eye because of the opaque contact lens. My depth perception was off. Oh, wow. Every time I wrestled somebody from either Benoit to like even that match with Saturn, I was like, dude, I'm gonna apologize at the start. When I punch you, I won't have range until maybe 2 or 3 punches in. So when I potato the crap out of you, I'll expect a receipt back. So don't worry, you can hit me back as hard as you want afterwards. And that was kind of the running joke. So I could throw 1 or 2 stiff punches, be like, oops, my bad, can't see you. And then a few people with a nice right jab or a good left shot, that type of thing. But the only thing that a lot of guys were scared of was that dive on the top turnbuckle over the guardrail into the block. Because my depth perception was so off. And what Sick Boy and Kidman did is they started pushing the guardrail in. They moved the guardrail in about 2-3 feet. So at least if I wouldn't dive straight into the guardrail and kill myself off. I would at least hopefully make it over that. So I had an aiming point that I could hopefully get over. And did. Even Arn Anderson was like, Scotty, you're 240 pounds. You're not Rey Mysterio at $180. He goes, don't kill yourself out there. I said, don't do this if you don't have to. I'm like, no, I want to do it. And Arn was shaking his head. But Arn being Arn, God love him. Afterwards, he was like, hell of a dive, kid. Hell of a dive. Way to make us look good. So, we kind of turned it into that. And I patterned my look after Kurt Russell. From Escape from New York, Escape from LA, Snake Plissken.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I patterned my look after. So I went from the American males to a completely different animal. And that's where Raven was like, Scott was all like, I kind of dug it. You embraced it. And you said, the good looking guy was gone. And he goes, man, you made it work. You made it work well. And he goes, I didn't have any hesitation after that of you being a part of the group, which is very cool. And I had a sitting ringside for every match and stuff like that was a blast. Yes. We had fans bringing us a beer or two. So we sit there. Jackie Crockett, who just passed away, was one of the lead cameramen next to us. He'd always walk over, and as soon as we go to commercial, he'd drop the camera and goes, we're commercial guys, I'll let you know. About that time, it'd be a couple fans that put beers over our shoulders. So we start to get a beer too. If we had nothing to do,
man.
Couple beers in, the block we sit. Why do you think we sat there looking so like? We were semi-drunk. If we didn't have anything to do, we could catch drunk and get ready to go out that night. So we'd have 3 or 4 beers in. If we had to do something, we'd have maybe 1 beer, but we really wouldn't do anything, or none. And sometimes the fans bring us a beer. We're like, we can't drink. Oh, who are you jumping? Shh. So the fans are getting a little wise to us, but we'd be mean sometimes. As soon as Jackie come over, we're back on there, guys, and put the camera on us, and they'll catch a view of us coming back from commercial or something, and they go to the match. And that was one of the coolest things to do, is to sit ringside like that. That was a blast.
Man,
that's good to hear, man.
That is crazy. Wow.
All right, so we know we got you for a few more minutes. I want to ask you, do you watch today's product? If you do you think Cody Rhodes is going to finish his story at WrestleMania?
or should he finish the story?
I believe Cody. I believe in Cody. I love Cody to death. I recently, thanks to him, had my first match in 15 years.
Nice.
Because I wrestled for his dad, Dusty, in Dusty's Turnbuckle Championship. Hey, there, you seem to pull these
Good.
pictures real quick, guys. I applaud you for that. Very good job.
Yeah.
You're very quick with the pictures. But yeah, that was my first match in 15 years, and for the reboot of Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. And that's basically when Dusty was running that is where I first met Cody. He was in high school. I met Teal, his sister, and of course I already kind of knew Dustin, and I got to know them a little bit back then in the early 2000s. And it was Cody's idea to he contacted QT Marshall, says, QT, get Scotty Riggs to be part of the reboot for us. You know, it's part of the AEW All Stars, I think is what they call it, or TCW All Stars. And so did that. So I'm definitely Team Cody. I'm a Cody crybaby, I guess is what I could be called. So yeah, that is very cool to be called a Cody crybaby. And it's kind of cool to see The Rock almost being the Hulk Hogan type persona, where you have such a good guy. Everybody beloved him as a wrestling character, as a movie character, as Dwayne Johnson, not just The Rock anymore, but he's coming out and he's being somebody who is stirring every emotion a fan could have. And he's bringing Cody into it. And Cody, without being the guy up in the rafters, is almost the new Sting in a sense. You know, he's just, it's bringing two big Brahma bulls together, you know, that type of thing is the way I kind of view it. Because it's just a resurgence in wrestling again, wrestling being popular by every part of the mainstream, the non-mainstream, the regular fan, the casual fan are tuning into what The Rock is doing on Monday nights now, and even Fridays.
Yeah.
So I want to see Cody. I think he's going to really have a chance to finish the story. But here's my forecast for it. They won't win Saturday night.
Yes.
So they'll go into Sunday with the head of the table, whatever the tribal chief rules, whatever those are. And Cody, thanks to Seth, will overcome the odds, get the victory, win the strap, and that will set up for a Roman Reigns run against him, a Rock run against him possibly, and a Seth run against him. Because even though Seth can be the guy who saves the day, Seth can always be the guy who also was the first one to turn on Cody.
Yeah.
So there could be 3 or 4 already automatic programs that continue that are brand new in a sense, because Cody's not the champ, and these guys are chasing him. So there's all type of ways you can play off of it. That's how I look. When I look at today's product, I kind of spoil it for myself and go, well, this is how I like to see it come out of it, and think instead of being a fan, enjoying it as is, and watching it live, I almost overthink it, kind of like I just did with you guys right there.
Hey, I like it
But
though.
you know, to me, it's fun. I like, you know, AEW. They overdo the blood in every match, but beyond that, I like that they focus on, you know, who's the best wrestler.
Yes.
You know, every week it's like, you know, it's either Osprey against you know, anybody. He's wrestling Bryan Daniels in the next pay-per-view, and it's going to be over who's the best wrestler. Every match is, okay, is it Moxley the best wrestler over this guy? Is it this guy over this guy? And that's almost, it's supposed to be a contest.
Yes. Not
just, you know, a display of moves and, you know, things that don't make sense being done left and right and dives and everything else. So, and I'm a huge FTR fan, huge fan of those guys. I've been an Osprey fan since his days in New Japan when I first started watching him on Access TV. And I was able to tell him that at the Stings match. I got to meet a lot of the guys, talk to them then. And it was really a blast to do that, to actually meet some of this talent that I've seen on TV and see how cool they are. Swerve Strickland is one of the coolest dudes, and that guy should be, he'll have one of the AEW title hopefully soon. So his story will continue as champ, at least it should. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of weight on Cody. So, and I try my best to watch, but again, most nights I've learned to work the DVR where I can just watch match, zip through all these commercials, watch a match, zip through all the commercials. And what sucks is when they do the picture-in-picture AEW, you got to watch the commercial to watch the match action still. I'm like, God, just go to commercials. I can zip through this crap. Because I hate commercials. I really do.
We all do.
Yeah.
I will pay extra. I will pay that extra $10 just to have ad-free stuff.
Yeah, I will too.
With my streaming stuff, ad-free all the time.
Oh man. All right, man.
All right.
You guys have any other questions?
Question?
Who gets it? Do.
I'll let John. John's a bigger fan than I am.
Dom's going out of order here.
Oh, so you're not a fan. You're not.
Oh Lord,
fan.
No,
how you gonna say that?
You just told yourself.
No, I'm a big fan. It's just
he's a buff guy.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
It's okay. All right. So got these Cowboys. If I like it, it's like this. Let me get here. It's like this. If I don't like it, it's like this.
I deserve that one.
Well, Scotty, I just I did watch the DDP, the two-parter just last night, and it was tremendous. I follow the DDP and like many people do, and his story inspiring Jake Roberts and Scott Hall and Buff, and of course yourself as well. And you notice that Buff had a really hard time, and then he got himself straight, and then he paid it forward to you. Is there any, as a follow-up to that documentary, if for lack of a better term, are you in any way going to pay it forward to someone else? Are you still part of the DDP studio system or something on your own?
That has been pretty much my game plan from the point they brought me up, or Marcus browbeat me basically to come up from Savannah to Atlanta and move into the accountability crib. The funny thing was about that, Steve Yu, who is Dallas's right-hand man, was also instrumental in getting Marcus straight and on the right path and helping guide him that way. Dallas was actually in Alaska. Him and his wife Paige were in Alaska at the time on a trip. And here I get told to come up to Atlanta, and I knew Dallas would not have an issue with it, but then it's his house. You gotta have permission, the guy who owns the place. And they're like, oh, Dallas won't mind. It'll be okay. We'll be okay. And I've been up there for maybe 2 days. And when Dallas finally got in touch with Steve, and Steve says, oh, by the way, Scotty Riggs is at the house. So is that okay? And he kind of told him the story of what was going on in my life, where for almost 6 years, I was my mom's 24/7 caregiver. A year and a half afterwards, I pretty much, after she passed in 2020, I was just a bucket of just dreg, where just didn't know what to do with my life, didn't know where I was going, didn't know if I wanted to live life anymore. And was living in my car for a short period of time because a lot of things, a lot of X, Y, and Z factors, kind of just let it where in my eyes, I didn't see a whole lot of opportunities, to be honest with you. And it took Marcus browbeating me about, I gave every excuse in the book. I need tires in my car. I need gas money. When I get my disability in a week, I'll come up then. Well, I got a cat with me. I got all these X, Y, and Z's, and Marcus just didn't put up with it, except for there was one point when he called me, and if you watch those things, the very first phone call he has with me, I'm just so lackadaisical about, I've been living in my car for the past 5 or 6 weeks. And like, you're living in your car? I'm like, yeah, no big deal. And to me, it wasn't a big deal because I pretty much accepted my fate. My fate was in my hands, and I had accepted my fate where I'm probably going to put one on my chest because I donated my brain to Boston University for CTE study. Okay. And so I'd already at least mapped that out. The summer, a few months earlier, one of my bucket list things to go to a wrestling show and see as many of the guys I can, kind of in a sense say hello to everybody, but in my eyes was kind of me saying goodbyes. And I've seen everybody from Jericho to Sting at that time also. Just a lot of guys. Met at Miro, one of the boys I've never met before. Mark Henry, me and him have been off and on friends for a little bit, from bumping into each other in airports and that type of thing. So I've seen guys I hadn't seen in a long time, Jerry Lynn, Dean Malenko. Dean would always give me a hug and say, man, it's so good to see us from that era that some of us are still alive. And little do you know, I was so miserable, I was about to check out.
Wow.
I mean, Vicky Guerrero was there, all these people. And again, in my eyes, it was a sense, it was a checklist to say goodbye to these guys, even though they were all saying hello to me. And after Marcus pretty much, again, browbeat the crap out of me. No, I'm putting tires in a car tomorrow. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And so basically that's what I did, got up here. And Dallas, when he got back into town, came over, gave me a big hug, said, dude, all I want you to do is become the best you can be. To pay me back to do anything, that's all you got to do. So pretty much Marcus helped me with my diet to get my diet back on track. Started working out with Steve U and Marcus. Did workouts with DDP with the DDPY. And within 6 months, I'm sure you have those before, after, and pictures you'll pop up here in a minute. But those pictures right there, the first one was, it was a 1-of-1 picture taken. And Dallas said, hey, just remember this. A great after picture is a shitty before picture.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty shitty before picture. Believe me, when you look at that thing. Pasty white, 55 years old, 56 years old at the time. 241 with a 38-inch waist. In 6 months, I started working out with Power Cuts that he gave me, which is another thing, Dallas, a tool he gave me that you can work out. We used to always work out really heavy weights, football, wrestling, whole 9 yards. And these allowed you to work through injuries, and especially like to restart your body training wise, using lightweight, high intensity with the reps. And it basically, I don't want to use the word trick, but your muscle reacts to them like you're lifting heavy weight.
Okay.
So I was able to work out light, easy, and that type of thing. It started within 6 months. I lost 3 inches on my waist and went from 241 to like 224, 17 pounds with 3 inches on my waist.
Wow.
And I'm actually down to a 34 now. And so I basically, and then I also tanned. Arn Anderson's favorite quote is, fat looks better tanned.
Yes.
Sure does.
And he will attest to it. And but so there's so many little things we did along the way where we took like a 6-month picture with the beard here, the hair up, and everything. And the reason I kept the beard was my teeth still need to be worked on.
Yep.
So that was another part of my confidence level. Physically, my body had reshaped itself, but a lot of my joy in life still, my confidence, because my mouth was a mess. The money I had set aside, there's the middle picture. The money I'd actually set aside, that was 6 months after that first picture. And the last one was about maybe where hands in pockets, that cheesy grin on my face, about maybe 3 weeks ago. And that's
really?
where I'm at a 34-inch waist right there.
Jeez.
And basically that came from the right diet, DDPY, because I was doing an hour. I wake up at 7:30 in the morning. When you sleep in your car, you go to bed at 9 o'clock at night because it's dark as all get out. As soon as the sun comes up, that's when you wake up. So I was waking up every morning 6:30, 7 o'clock as soon as the sun came up. And I would actually get up and start doing some DDPY that I knew I could do then, but not like an actual workout. I would just do some movements and stuff like that to make my body feel better. I was kind of tricking myself a little bit. Dallas actually put me over after one of our first actual 45-minute workouts, where it's a real workout that he put me through. But it was what's the best way to put it? He put me over and goes, a lot of guys will tell me, oh, I've been doing your DDPY, and I know they're full of shit. He goes, but you, I can tell because of your balance, because of your movements, your flexibility, you've actually been doing this stuff. I said, well, I've been doing movements, but I haven't done the workouts, which was, again, 2 completely different animals on that. But I would do an hour of elliptical cardio every morning, and then I do about 40 minutes of DDPY with the stretches, the movements, and stuff like that to keep my flexibility up with my pain levels. Then in the afternoons, I would go work out with Steve, and that's 6 months difference right there.
That's crazy.
Marcus doesn't like using that picture because he goes, you should just go for that first one to the last one where you're all tan and you're smiling. I'm like, dude, that's a 9-month difference.
Yeah.
I want to get that 6 month in there too. When people can go, yeah, it took you 9 months, almost a year to get this, you know, I'll be like, no, wait, that middle picture right there with the beard, that's in 6 months.
Yeah.
If you do the work, you can get the results. It ain't gonna come easy. It ain't just gonna happen. But the thing is you're given the tools to help yourself gain the results you want, to gain the results beyond what you want. Because even Dallas was like, dude, that 6 months, you blew beyond the expectations we had. I figured it would take you a year to get that look after what you look like, that mold of clay, that lumpy, dumpy, silly putty guy in that first picture. He goes, none of us knew that you would just transform your life, change your life so drastically in 6 months. I told myself, honestly, when you get around the right people, the right energy, the right attitudes. I mean, I was very blessed to be able to keep in contact with Sting. Every now and then we get a text message every couple of days or every couple of weeks. Rob Van Dam is another guy that I've kept in contact with pretty much every other week, once a week. We'd always text each other and something. I always say, dude, if I was really struggling at times, I wouldn't like burden him with what was going on specifically. But I'd say, hey, Rob, need some energy, bro. Whatever you got, you spare me, hit me with. And he sent me back. Oh, sure will. Love you, bro. And that's how I knew that these guys cared about me. And so I kind of just knew that once I got around the people with the right energy, the right focus, it would get the darkness that was in my life out of it. And that's what those guys have done for me at that point. So to kind of answer your question, I've been given a lot. I mean, I've been blessed with a lot over the past year. I've been just blessed beyond all get out. And I wish I could, there's no words. Grateful is a great word. Thankful is another great word. But to really be able to express it, you just can't. Because I know I wouldn't be here for one of those guys. And to say I'm grateful isn't enough. And to kind of like Dallas would say, be the best you can be. The best way to pay Dallas back, the best way to get Steve U back, or even Marcus, is to pay it forward. Because I don't need to pay them anything. They don't want to be paid back. They want to see me use what I've been given now to help somebody else. So in a sense, yeah, right now, I'm still working on me in a lot of areas, whether physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I'm still gaining a better foundation, starting to build off that. And been able to do a few conventions, get around some old folks that I haven't seen in a long time. And it's great to see the Nasty Boys, who I always thought they hated my guts, to be honest with you. Especially after that first match we had in Asheville at Fall Brawl. Brian Knobs, if you ever watched it, he locks up with me, pulls me to the corner, and there are 22 unanswered live round punches and kicks where I'm going, what the hell is going on? If you watch Marcus goes in the ring, Sags, what are you doing? Pee Wee Anderson, the referee, is kind of getting into him a little bit. What are you doing? Lighten up. Even Knobsy runs over and goes, Sags, cut it out. and all Sags does is go, oh, guess welcome him to the company. I'm like, there's a lot better ways you can do that. You know,
welcome to the business.
Yeah.
Welcome to the company, kid. And I saw him at a big event in New York a few months ago, and I just told that same story because to me it's one of the best stories about how Knobs welcomes me that way with those live rounds. It's all Nasty Boys. When your first match, big match is against the Nasty Boys, something's going to happen. I'm the greenhorn rookie. They're going to beat the crap out of me, and it's an initiation. It's a welcome to the thing. And I tell that story a bunch because to me it's a great story. Sags, I see Kevin Nash, I yell at Kevin, and Kevin goes, hey, Scotty, I got to go talk to Trish Stratus. I'm going to get out of here, but I told her I was going to talk to her, so I'll catch you later. 5 seconds on Kevin Nash. Yeah, okay, see you, big goofy son of a bitch. Later. Then he blows me off for Trish Stratus play, you know what it's like. But I blow me off for Trish Stratus too. But I don't know, out of the corner of my eye, I see and hear knobs and Sags is going, Scotty Riggs, you son of a bitch, get over here. And just gives me this great big hug. And again, I thought these guys hated my guts. And I got more love and more appreciation from those two than I have from anybody else in a long time. And it was just really, it gave me, again, a different perspective on life. That some of these guys I thought hated my guts actually care about you. You know, that you're one of the boys. They might not always like you, but they don't hate you.
Yeah.
Devon Dudley, I got a chance to hug and kiss him. Mikey Ripwreck, Francine, everybody that I hadn't seen in a long time. That Bobby Fish, just guys that I had known, hadn't seen in a while, that were grateful and happy to see me. And that is just uplifting spirit-wise. So when you're around the positive energy people, I saw Raw that day for the first time in 10 years. We always keep in contact. We don't see each other except once a decade, it seems like. So this past year, we've seen each other 3 times already. It's really super duper cool. And so to finally kind of answer your question, I guess, every part of my life right now is I'm searching at 57 for that passion, something that I can be passionate about, whether it's Dallas wants to be a DDPY instructor, or maybe a transition coach, which is kind of like a personal trainer type guy, because he actually, that last picture of me tan with my hands in my pockets, he's going to WrestleCon, that last picture on the right there, my right, your left. He's going to WrestleCon in Philadelphia, going to Wrestlemania this week. And he was like, hey, send me those pictures with you tan with your hands in your pockets, because he will, and I found he's been doing it all over the place. He will show that before picture. He'll show the 6-month picture, and they'll show that. Now, I'm his talking point. He's like, dude, you are my selling point for everything right now. Because we've had some guys who have lost weight, who've done this, who's done that, who've transitioned, but for you, in such a short amount of time that you put in, and his thing is, you put in the work. And in 6 months, he goes, you blew us out of the water. And so I told him, I said, dude, I'm trying to find that passion of what I could do to give back to people, wrestling, something somewhere along the line. And so at 57, I'm kind of starting like a little kid again, and just trying to find out where that direction is, but definitely going to be paying it forward. Because I've been getting a lot of gifts, a lot of tools to use, and if I can help 1 or 2 people, 3, 4, 5 people, an old VO5 commercial, and so on, and so on, and so on. You see all those pictures pop back and forth. Google it, you'll see what I mean. But it's a VO5 commercial from the 80s. But I've just been given a gift, and if I can win, not if, but when I start giving back, I want to make it successful for that person I'm giving back to. Kind of like somebody was successful with me.
Well, I think you've already given back to us by giving your time, especially people just didn't give the opportunity to understand what you've been through, and now they do. And we appreciate it, especially some of us that may not have known your story. They need to now, especially through our platform, maybe through yours down the road. We appreciate the time you've given us, and we hope to do this again, definitely.
Well, I had a blast with you, man. You made me laugh a lot, made me have a few good deep memories, which was cool. So, hopefully, if I spark somebody that can reach out to them one way or the other, it's definitely cool. It's definitely a way to give back to this world that there's so much insanity in it. If I can be the good insane, the good crazy, the good wickedness, however you want to put it, if I can be that person that makes you go, wow, if he can do it, I can do it.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the point I want to get across to most people. If I can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Look at where I was, look where I am now. You can do that same thing. Just put the work.
Yes.
Definitely. Scotty, thank you so much for being on the show. Do you want to...
Thank you, guys. I had a blast. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey,
do you want to
plug
put
your socials?
Yeah, plug your social. That's what I was getting at.
Real Scotty Riggs on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to book any of you guys promoters out there who see this, or if you want to put it out for me, contact me at bookscottyriggs@gmail.com. So you can book me for podcasts, conventions, meet, greet, signings, or you can even go through Marcus to book the American males through Marcus Buff Bagwell at gmail.com. So there's two ways you can get us. You can look us up and bring us as Buff, as Riggs, and as the American males. Yeah.
American males, American males, American males.
There you go. Till you go to the good part, you skip that, you skip that real cheesiness and you get American males. Yeah. Very cool, guys. I enjoyed it. You guys are a blast, man. It's been fun.
Thank you so much.
No, we had a blast with you, brother.
Well, y'all take care, guys.
All right, man.
You're not getting in contact with me. Feel free.
We will.
Definitely. You take care, man.
Right,
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Thank you.
All right, guys. There's a wrap.
Yay.
I'm the Notorious One. I'm here with Poppy Platino. I'm here with Stratfax John, and we got the WCW legend Scotty Riggs. Until next time. Boom.
Go Cowboys.